And again, you're watching Sky News. It was the pirate radio station based on a boat which helped change the face of music in this country, forcing the BBC to create Radio 1. 50 years ago today, a change in the law silenced most of its competitors. But Radio Caroline defied the law and carried on broadcasting. Joined now by one of Radio Caroline's original presenters and the man who launched BBC Radio 1. You know who he is, of course, Tony Blackburn. Here he is. Hi, Tony. It's good to see you.
Hello, Kay. Lovely to be with you.
Hi. How do you remember Radio Caroline?
Oh, I mean, I remember it. I mean, it gave me, first of all, I owe everything to Radio Caroline because it gave me my first break. And I remember going out in the, it was 1964, and I remember seeing this little boat bobbing around because we had to go out from Harwich and we had to go through customs because we were going out of the country, allegedly going to Holland, but we never actually got there for 3 years. So we stopped off on the way and played records, and I remember seeing this little boat bobbing around on the North Sea, 3.5 miles off the coast of Frinton, and loving every single moment of it. It was great. But we knew that we were going to change the whole of, you know, radio broadcasting in this country. That was the exciting thing about it.
What were the challenges, Tony?
What were the what, sorry?
What were the challenges? What sort of challenges did you face bobbing around in the sea?
Well, I guess really the North Sea, I mean, it's very rough. In fact, I was shipwrecked on the coast of Frinton. I was taken off by a breeches buoy. But I love rough sea, so it didn't really bother me very much. But if you see the Radio Caroline mast, it's very high up. And I actually went up there at one stage, very stupidly, I think, to untangle something. But that acted as a sort of a pendulum thing. So when it got really rough, we were thrown around, but the records kept playing. It was amazing. But it was so much fun. You know, we were all, I mean, I was 21 years old, and it was such an adventure. I absolutely adored it.
How did you get involved? What made you think, you know what, I want to leave dry land and I want to go and be shipwrecked on that Radio Caroline boat? How did you get employed in the first place?
Well, I read an advertisement in the New Musical Express wanting DJs for Radio Caroline, and I'd seen a documentary on, I think it was ITV, about Radio Caroline. I thought, this is fantastic. And I was a singer with a dance band in Bournemouth, and I wanted to get into singing, and I couldn't get a recording contract. So I thought, well, if I became a DJ, I'd get closer to the record industry, which happened. But I didn't have much success as a singer. I had more success as a DJ. So that's what really got me into it. But I just absolutely adored it when I went out there. And it was great. And Big L Radio London, I was 2 years on Radio Caroline. Then I went to Radio London, and that was a terrific ship, and all the wonderful jingles that came out from there. And it was 3 years, very happy years.
And what about conditions on board? You were talking about when the weather was bad. I mean, did you suffer from seasickness?
I was very lucky. No, I didn't suffer from seasickness at all. I mean, on the little Mi Amiga, the Radio Caroline boat, it was very, very, you know, it wasn't luxurious, let's put it that way. On the Radio London ship, the big MV Galaxy, which was an American minesweeper, we had our own cabins, and that was nice. But, you know, I was 21, and we were all young, and it was an adventure, and it was wonderful. And if somebody said to me, could you go out there and do it again for a week, I'd be there.
Do you remember the first song that you ever played, the first record you ever played, Tony?
Do you know I do? It was Ragdoll by the Four Seasons. The very first one, 4 o'clock it was. I was doing a program called The Big Lineup, and that was the very first record I played on Radio Caroline in 1964. The first one that everybody remembers, of course, when I opened up Radio 1, that was Flowers in the Rain. But the first record was Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Ragdoll, I remember that song very well indeed. I'm not going to sing it now, Tony, unless you want to, of course.
Go on.
No,
go
you
on.
do it, you do it. Go on, you do it, you do it. You do it, you do it.
Oh, I can't do it because it's that high-pitched voice that Frankie Valli's got. And I'd do myself a real mischief if I did that. But it was a great song. And I can't remember the second one, but that was the very first one. And I met Frankie Valli about a couple of years ago, and I went up to him and I said, you know, it was the very first record I played, one of yours. So I met Frankie Valli, and that was nice. You know, he said, oh, thank you.
Well, it's great to talk to you, Tony. Thanks very much indeed. Thanks a lot. The legend, ladies and gentlemen, that is Tony Blackburn. We'll see you in just a second.